Let's continue our discussion of Keith Hayward's book, Infantilised. This is the fifth part of our interpretation. Today, let's wrap up it. At this point in the book, if you're also following Donald Trump's recent actions, as he embarks on his second presidential term, you may be struck by a profound sense that the world is a slapdash amateur show. Earlier, Trump actually issued his own digital currency, Trump coin. Issuing a coin as the president-elect of the United States is extremely inappropriate. After all, cryptocurrencies were originally conceived as a rebellion against dollar hegemony. If Trump merely praised Bitcoin, you could argue he's embracing a historical trend. But creating his own coin, monetizing presidential prestige and prioritizing benefits for his own family and inner circle, is absolutely an abuse of power. Unbelievably, his wife Melania also launched a coin. Trump personally retweeted his support. How shameless is that? Like the whole family is racing to squander their reputations. Cryptocurrencies depend on trust in a zero-sum game. One coin may rally die-hard fans, but when both spouses issue their own, which does the public trust? No surprise. The Trump coin immediately plummeted by 60%. Meanwhile, Trump reportedly took some of his earnings from his coin and bought Ethereum. This has gone beyond corruption. It's foolish and absurd, a grab and run with no concern for consequences. Do they expect the whole of America, or the world, to join in happily? In the past, we assumed political leaders acted with careful planning. But Trump's actions often seem like a series of emotional missteps. At the end of his book, Hayward offers 10 ChatGPT-style recommendations on how to resist infantilization and behave as adults. Here's a summary, grouped into 3 categories. 1. Reject externally imposed limits on information. Education and learning should not have artificial boundaries. Don't believe in the myth that certain books are so dangerous that merely reading them corrupts you. Nowadays, even classics are being banned, and professors fear speaking about them. This is not true education. Education should empower. When parents send a child to school, or someone buys a book, they seek new abilities, not incapacitation. It should enable wiser, more responsible decision-making, not turn people into cogs. But today's public and private education often indoctrinate. Children are taught identity politics from an early age, told that one group is good and another is bad. Some treat primary and secondary education as tools for social engineering, using indoctrination to shape whole generations. American universities, especially in the humanities, are increasingly ideological. We've frequently said that history, philosophy, and literature are valuable if they're real, rigorous scholarship. But if universities teach ideology as a rigid worldview without cultivating critical thinking, they disable rather than empower students. The job market shows this. Humanities grads who can only recite woke slogans, unable to create value, struggle to find employment and are paid less. I believe that fully rational choice is always the right one. Otherwise the world would have collapsed already. Education without limits will lead to collaboration rather than confrontation, to modernity rather than identity politics. 2. Resist overprotection and unwarranted anxiety. When I was a child in China, public safety wasn't as good as today. But we walked to school by ourselves, sometimes spending hours on buses and foot. I never heard of children getting into trouble. Today, parents drive their children everywhere. In Shanghai, elementary school kids aren't even allowed on the playground during recess for fear of accidents. If a kid is afraid to play outside, what have they learned? No wonder myopia rates are skyrocketing. Hayward notes that U.S. schools are overprotective. They should compare notes with Chinese parents to understand what real overprotection looks like. I believe this is pathological. Growing up involves risk. My son broke his arm sliding at kindergarten. No big deal. He didn't cry. After a month in a cast, he was back to normal. Doctors even told us the newly healed bone would be stronger. Overprotecting children may seem safe, but it's the opposite. Without experiences, even minor setbacks can break them. They become fragile. Modern people constantly worry about faraway issues, anxious at the drop of a hat, and can't handle real responsibility. This often stems from overprotected childhoods. When we shield their bodies, we weaken their emotional resilience too, resulting in neither emotional nor physical strength. Kids aren't plants. They must grow through experience. I urge parents to make agreements with schools. If my kid gets hurt, we won't sue. If they break something, we will pay. But they must play outside at recess. That's how resilience is built. 3. Choose your own life. Don't let advertising decide it. In the past, people would scoff at the idea of being controlled by ads. But today, ads dictate how to live. They implant desires, extol total freedom and minimal responsibility, glorify infantilized culture, and mock adulthood. People guzzle this stuff. Some Chinese youth chase luxury brands as status. From Hayward's perspective, this may still be somewhat aspirational. They want to improve their standing, which implies dissatisfaction with their current situation. And that effort is adult-like. American advertising is even more insidious. You're already the best. Be yourself. They encourage you to nurture the child inside and say that child is the best. You are a carefully cultivated profit node. If advertisers control your inner life, that's tragic. The only escape is exploration. Face setbacks, failures, self-doubt, and growth. Only then will you discover genuine value and expand your inner world. These suggestions are solid, but I still think they aren't adult enough. Hayward seeks to uplift society. But what about personal gain if society infantilizes? I asked O1 Pro to run a game theory model. I hoped for a hawk-dove-style conclusion. When society has many hawks, doves benefit. And when doves dominate, hawks benefit. The AI model was simple, with mathematical details we can skip. But the key result holds. When society is full of children, being an adult pays off. Let's break down the benefits. Basic benefit: making rational choices. Childish people chase instant pleasure and emotional value. We've seen elderly folks fall for overpriced useless health products. They're paying for feelings, not healing. Like pretending to act cute in protest. They care more about performance than results. You can refuse that and focus on impact. Intermediate benefit: earning trust capital. Even in a childish society, someone must take responsibility. If no one else steps up, you can. And when you get things done, you gain public trust. That's why responsibility is valued now. Emotional citizens call for strong leaders. So why not you? Build reputation in calm times. Then you can offer leadership when needed. Be the dependable one among your relatives and colleagues. That's both responsibility and power. When others retreat, you advance. When others vent, you soothe. You stay calm, listen, mediate, and aim for win-win solutions. That makes you valuable. Advanced benefit: adults can leverage childish emotions. Trump mastered this. Never challenge emotions, only amplify them. Praise, not comfort. You're amazing. Keep being you. Substance doesn't matter. They trust you. You affirm them, echo their biases, and they adopt you as one of us. You become their mentor. This is manipulative and unethical. A fire we shouldn't play with. But it's powerful. Understanding it helps even if we don't use it. That's the end of the book. A child's world is simple. An adult's world is hard, but meaningful. We can resist infantilization, stand out in a childish world, and even use its dynamics. As the Chinese adage goes, when Qin loses the deer, the whole world chases it. If no one else plays the adult, we should. That's it for today's content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.